Hey guys, it's World TB Day. If you don't know what TB is, you are in for a shock. Hey folks, I'm Samir Gupta. I'm a board certified respirologist, and I see a lot of TB or tuberculosis in my clinic. So TB is a bacterial infection that typically affects the lungs, but can spread to any part of the body. And worldwide, TB is a major killer. Almost 11 million people around the world had TB in 2023, and 1.25 million people died of TB in 2023. What's unusual about TB is that only a very small percentage of people actually get sick upon exposure to the bacteria. What happens with TB that's quite different than most other infections is that upon exposure, when you breathe it in, your body can actually fight it off and control it. When it does that, for most people, that will result in what's called a latent TB infection. So the bacteria is controlled, but it's not killed. And it hangs out in your body, and years later, sometimes decades later, it can actually reemerge and cause that active infection. And that often happens when people age and their immune system gets weaker, or for example, when they have other conditions that weaken their immune system. When you consider this latent form of the infection, about a quarter of all people on the planet are thought to be infected with TB bacteria. TB is an infection that affects people in rich countries and poor countries, but disproportionately affects people in poor countries. And although we have good medicines for TB, unfortunately, we have a hard time getting those medicines to those countries and delivered to the people who need them. And all this is worse with the cuts to USAID because USAID was helping with TB eradication efforts around the world. So TB is a really important infection, and if we don't do things to help to control it around the world, it will become a bigger and bigger problem right here in our backyard.